Everybody, it's Michael Douglas. Welcome back to another episode of Dr. Pundit, where we talk about music, not medicine. And on this edition, it's another line items. And with all the hubbub surrounding the presidential inauguration and, artists that are being slammed by groups on both sides for their decision to perform at the Trump inauguration, I thought it would be kind of nice to kind of recall three special inauguration performances over the past, I would probably say, spanning 60 to 70 years in this country. These are very special performances that really caught my eye and my fancy, and this is my list. So 3 performances at presidential inaugurations, the earliest of which will be the last one I talk about, back in 1957, Dwight D. Eisenhower. But first, let's get into it. There have been quite a few historic and incredible presidential inauguration performances through the years. Now, this would be quite a long list if I were to talk about every single performance, which I'm not, but these are 3 that really have always stuck with me throughout the history of presidential inaugurations and performances of, say, songs like the Star-Spangled Banner and America the Beautiful and those kinds of songs, patriotic songs. And this is in no particular order, but in 2009, much was being said about Aretha Franklin's performance at the inauguration of the first African-American president, Barack Obama, in 2009. And her stunning rendition of My Country 'Tis of Thee at his inauguration was one of the most memorable moments of the decade of the 2000s. Franklin took to the podium in her now iconic little gray bow hat, I guess, and belted out the classic American song like it was, oh, so easy.
My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing. And where my father died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom reign. Our country.
Now you can kind of tell that her voice there was, she had a little difficulty hitting the high notes. Her range was diminished. This is a time that, her health started to take a ongoing decline, and she really didn't release a lot of material in the subsequent years before her death, but still an iconic performance. Aretha Franklin, My Country 'Tis of Thee, at Barack Obama's inauguration in his first term in 2009. Now, historic inaugurations come and go, but few involve getting a disintegrated famous band back together. Fleetwood Mac has been, always an amazing band, but around 1993, several members were missing and the band was more or less in limbo. Now, Bill Clinton asked Mick Fleetwood and John McVie if they could get the core lineup back together to perform their top 10 smash, Don't Stop, at his inauguration in 1993. Fortunately, the remaining 2 members of the band managed to get Christine McVie on board, then Stevie Nicks, and then, surprisingly, Lindsey Buckingham. So, a lot of turmoil there. And of course, those stories about the internal turmoil of that band, Fleetwood Mac, are legendary. But, this is a pretty good performance, and it's maybe the internecine drama is what gets me to think about this particular performance at Bill Clinton's 1993 inauguration.
If you wake up on a smile, it takes just a little while. Open your eyes and look at the day. You see things in a different way. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop innocent
Now, here's the one that's most special. It was in 1957, the inauguration of Dwight D. Eisenhower's second term in office in 1957. How about a real throwback here? The incomparable operatic Marian Anderson, one of the most world-renowned opera singers of the 1950s, an African-American woman who had a contralto like no other, basically. And depending on whom you ask, she was also the most famous black woman in the United States when she was invited to perform at Eisenhower's inauguration in 1957. Just an iconic performance.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed out the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the rampart we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's reply through the bursting air peeped through the night, but our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Despite being a Democrat herself, she took it upon herself to perform at a Republican's inauguration. Now, times are different back then, and cross-party politics really weren't a thing like they are now, all this partisanship, but it does put things into perspective, and it just makes me feel so much better as an American that we had the juxtaposition of this African-American opera singer singing at a Republican's inauguration in 1957, both very popular individuals getting together for the good of this country. Partisanship be damned. I think it's fantastic. I wish we could go back to those times. Well, there you have it. Line items, 3 incomparable inauguration performances by Marian Anderson, Fleetwood Mac, and Aretha Franklin. I'm Michael Douglas. When you like what you see on this channel, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. And as the late, great Barry White used to say, it would have been really cool to see him perform at one of these inaugurations. Let the music play, and I'll see you on the next episode.